Hi, this is Skip Slusher with Jeannie and Bugsy, and we're going to talk about and show you a good way to help your horse out and stay balanced and controlled at a canter or a lope. And there's a lot you can do to really help your horse out. If you just let them run, let them go, they tend to get a little more on their front and sometimes speed up, sometimes they slow down. And we're just going to show you a great way to keep them contained, working with you, tuned into you, and that is using rhythm, seat position, and body weight. So Jeannie, if you want to just go ahead and make a circle around me, either direction. And right now, if you look, she's riding her horse's back feet. She feels connected to the back feet more than the front feet. And you can see that in her body position and how he's carrying her. He's not up front, he's in the back. So he's pretty balanced, relaxed, loose rein, heads down, just super chill. And the head's down not because he's leaning forward and pushing away from her. The head's down because he's relaxed and his hind end is doing the impulsion. Okay, looks great. Go ahead and pick up your right lead whenever you're ready. Okay, now make sure you get on his back end again. And watch Bugsy, he's gonna start kind of pushing here in a second. Or I thought. Go ahead and stop riding the back end so they can see what happens if you ride the front end. There he speeds up. His weight's forward, his momentum's forward. Now start riding the back end. So she's just thinking about the hind feet. And he broke down already because he felt that change. Now, nothing changes in how you normally ride your lope. This is just focus on the hind feet versus the front feet. She's not trying to sit back further. She's not leaning back. She's just thinking about the back feet and the hind end and where the impulsion's coming from. And just that little bit of a thought makes her body go to a good centered position. Because as you think about the back end, it's almost like you're trying to listen to it and you come back. Keep them going. Go ahead and lean forward and let them get pushy again. A little more forward. So now Bugsy's picked up his pace. So that is how you speed him up. You just move everything forward. Now, don't worry about the back feet as much as just get your rhythm a slight bit behind his rhythm. There. He came to her immediately. So your rhythm affects your horse's rhythm a lot. So if she's starting to get a little behind his rhythm, he comes back to meet her because that becomes uncomfortable. So if he's loping along and you're together, he's like, this is great. I'll maintain this speed. Everything's cool. As soon as your rhythm gets a little behind his rhythm, he wants to meet up again, synchronize again. So he'll start to come back to match your rhythm. So it's a subtle tool, but really effective. I don't know if you could see how quickly he came down to her. The opposite is true too. If your horse is too slow and you don't want to just keep pounding him and kicking him and whatever, your rhythm can come ahead of his rhythm or their rhythm, and they'll pick up and meet you there too. It's kind of the same thing as if I'm out of balance forward, they go to get me. If I'm out of balance back, they come back to get me. So let's go ahead and lope the other direction. And I want you to pick his rhythm up this time. Nice, looking good. So see, she's ahead of him and he's starting to speed up. Go ahead and get ahead a little more. You see him come up to match her rhythm. Now get behind him a little bit. Slow your rhythm. Slow your rhythm. And there he just kind of came back to her. And that's a pretty dramatic change. So that's Really, he came up to her and he really came down to her. Okay, go ahead and just walk him for a sec, give him a break. And just use your rhythm to bring him to a trot and a walk. So, it's a great rating tool in addition to just controlling speed. You slow your rhythm, you can break them down to a trot and a walk. In addition to, not leaning forward while you change your rhythm. All this is predicated on the fact that you are centered when you're riding, not forward, not back. So I thought those were really dramatic changes. Now let's go ahead and I want to show them body position. So keep your rhythm the same, but I want you to just really tip your hips forward and lean forward and let him go faster. Once he gets kind of pushing, I want you to tip your hips back and come back a little bit. So the first part of this, she's going to ride more in the front part of the horse. And when she brings him down, she's going to begin to ride more in the back part of the horse. So let's go ahead. Yeah, same way if you're okay. So now we've moved from rhythm to body position as a tool. And if she gets forward, he starts speeding up to match her position. Now, go ahead, Jeannie, and kind of come back. I don't know if you can see, but he's come back to her again on body position. So those are two really good tools. You can go ahead and walk them. Two really good tools to have in your toolbox and how to control your horse's speed. So you have rhythm, which is a little harder to do, but really, really, really effective. And you have weight distribution, a little forward, a little back. Easier to do, same kind of effect. But if you notice, when she used rhythm to slow him down, he came down a little faster. Body position, he had to go, do you really mean this, or are you just kind of lost there? So it takes him a little longer sometimes. But great job, by the way. Those are really two very good tools in how to help your horse loping or trotting, or loping or cantering, and help them maintain balance, control speed. And if you're doing any event where you have to rate up and down a little bit, like a large, fast, slow, small, there's your tools. So anyway, if you like any of this information, go ahead and subscribe.